Alrighty guys, I'm still in Harbor Freight. It is right here, guys. Everybody always asks me what do I use to suck out. You don't know if you're doing the Pentastar or if it's adapter housing, how you clean out the intake galley part with all the oil and the coolant be mixed. I use now mine is not named after this. This is what Harbor Freight sells, which is no different than the ones that we normally use. All right, now, but I made a mistake. I should have gotten this one right here. The air operated version. Okay, the difference is just $40. Okay, the manual one is 99 bucks, and the air operated one is $144. Okay, now when mine's break or when I lose it or when it's fail, I'm going with the air operated one, guys. Okay, just put an airline. Now you got to be mindful that you have to have an airline available when you're going to use it. So I want to make one that has both options, air or manual. All right, but this is when I got my hoses are burnt because I think they set on the exhaust and got a hole in it. But I'm getting the air up. Alrighty guys, real quick guys, 2015 Chrysler 300. This one actually did pretty good, guys. Got 150,000 miles out of this one before the oil filter cooler started leaking. You look straight down now, yeah, you see that black? That is oil, ladies and gentlemen, and it's on top of the transmission. All right, so you see what I got here? I know a lot of y'all like those aluminum ones from Derman. We don't play that Derman stuff over here, man. We got this redesigned Mopar. Y'all see that big old M, man? We don't play like that. Okay, I got the seals. And I got 2 sensors. So now guys, the question always come up, should you, remember what I told y'all last time? Yes, it's a must, 100%. You must change the oil when you're done. Whether you drain the coolant or not, coolant's still gonna get down into that galley and make its way to the oil pan. So whatever you do, please change the oil when you're done. All right, some of y'all like to drain the coolant. Why? I don't know. Whatever floats your boat, do what makes you feel good. I'm not draining no coolant. I'm gonna change the oil, make sure I get all the oil coolant mixture out when I'm done. All right. Alrighty guys, real quick, let's talk. Now I got this van back up in the air. This is the one I just got through replacing oil filter adapter housing. Y'all see that, guys? It don't matter. Let me give you a tip. It don't matter if you drain the coolant or not. Guys, do not start this car until you do this, change this oil. Okay, do not start the car until you change the oil because coolant has fell down in those galleries. Okay, let's get this off. Oh yeah, see, y'all see that? That is coolants mixed with oil. Look, the coolant is at the bottom, okay, and the oil, yeah. In other words, don't ever start the car. Like I said, a lot of guys gonna be in the comments talking about, all you gotta do is change or drain the coolant first. It don't matter, guys. It don't matter. Coolant will find its way into those gallery holes and make its way to the oil pan. If you had started this car like this, you would have circulated all that coolant oil mixture, okay? You essentially look like you had a blown head gasket, but you won't. All right, so yeah, that's a tip for the day. Drain the oil. Alrighty guys, my buddy told me he got a crazy one over here, and yes, from the look of this, it is crazy. Now, he seemed to think a lot of it has to do with mixing the coolant. Okay, he's going to get his head gasket tested to see if there's any exhaust gases getting in the coolant system. But look at that down in there, look at this cap. Let's go look, see what kind of coolant did they actually use, guys. Now, in some cases, you cannot mix this stuff, all right? You have to use exactly what the car calls for. Now, based on what this customer likely put in their car, I don't want to badmouth Xerox. I don't know much about. Now, I don't know, guys. I deal with 1 count of coolant, okay, the Mopar coolant. I don't know if you mix these two together, would that cause that? I mean, you independent guys out there, what y'all think? How's it going when y'all mix coolant like that? Okay, now remember, you can't get all the coolant out of any car just about, unless you got a real good flux machine. All right, so I don't know. Somebody let me know something. Alrighty, guys, let's talk. This Cherokee right here, guys. It's a breakdown in communication I want to explain to y'all. All right, this car's customer came in, brake noise. All right, y'all know me. Y'all, just about everybody. If you got wheels like this, technically you can see through here and get a look at the condition of the pads, whether they too low or grinding or anything like that. She said her brakes is grinding and scrubbing. All right, now, I find out later, I got all 4 wheels off. I find out later that brakes was just done. Guess by who? Cousin Pookie. No, did he do anything wrong? No, technically brake pads only go on one way, guys. You can't get that wrong. However, what he didn't do, or what he failed to do, or what he probably should have done, or what he should have recommended, either new rotors or get these resurfaced, guys. Here's the deal. Cousin Pookie pad slapped these brake pads. Y'all see this? Brand new CarQuest. All right, now I have nothing against CarQuest. I just have something against incomplete brake jobs. All right, and my thing is either turn them or cut them or replace them. Alrighty Alrighty guys, real quick, let's talk guys. I'm getting ready to resurface this rotor. Now I get this question a lot. Guys, if you take a close look at this rotor, as you can see, the pad that goes on the car only contacts so much of this rotor from here to here, right? So the question becomes, should you start your cutting process all the way at the end? Yes guys, from my opinion, I would, okay? Because what you don't want to happen is to thin this part of the rotor out and leave this part thick. I want the whole rotor the same thickness all the way through, okay? So start your cutting process all the way at the end. In fact, let's do this now. Let's drive this all the way in. Yes guys, I'm not gonna stop right there and start cutting, okay? Y'all see that? No, I'm going all the way in and start my cutting process. So when I'm done, this whole rotor gonna be shining because I cut it from start to finish, all right? Both sides, all right? Y'all see that? Yes, only so much to pad contact. All right, let's get it, man. Alrighty, guys, I'm pissed off, man. Here's why, guys. I finally got my brake pads for this brake job I'm doing. Guys, I just got to turning this rotor. Look at the finish on that rotor. Woo-hoo! It looks just like a new one, don't it? Okay, guys, this is an OEM rotor, meaning this is his first brake job. It's okay to resurface these. I do not resurface AutoZone advanced auto rotors, okay? They not made of that good material. Now here's why I'm pissed off, guys. I could not get OEM parts for some reason. For whatever reason, we out, I don't know. So they go down the street and get me some of these. They look good, right? Who make these? Let's find out. CarQuest. All right, I got a message for CarQuest. Hear me out, CarQuest. Hear me out real good, okay? You got one time to fail me, all right? One time, all right? I'm gonna use you, but hear me out. One time to fail me. If you do, your days are numbered. That's right, I said it, all right? I don't want to hear no freaking squeaks, no rattle, no grinding, no scrubbing, no nothing. They even gave me this. You got one time to fail me, CarQuest. Hear me out real good. Y'all stay tuned. Hey guys, real quick, look what I have here, guys. I got 4 brand new rotors and 2 sets of brake pads. Y'all see these M's? Right, these are Mopar brake pads, guys, Mopar rotors. Now, I'm not really bragging on the Mopar parts. What I want to talk about is the importance of doing a brake job correct as it relates to customers' brakes, all right? Guys, there's a difference between doing your own brakes and just slapping pads on it. You don't really care if your brakes making noise at that point. You have no one but yourself to blame, okay? When you're dealing with customer cars, they don't want to hear nothing. We do not play that at shops. We do not pad slap brake pads on customer cars because of the potential chance of an embarrassing comeback. Okay, there's nothing like a customer bringing their car back saying, I still hear brake noise, all because we decided to reuse the old rotors. Don't even clean them up, don't even turn them, don't even do nothing, just reuse them. Fast. It is a bad idea, again, as it relates to a customer vehicle. Please separate the two, your car versus the customer car. All right, we got Mopar here, baby.